Lucrezia will be with you very shortly. Now, Ruth, in Kosovo, where Wales women were playing, it was 30 degrees or something.
Because we just can't, all right? Listen, I spent all week grovelling. I spent all of last week grovelling, and I did promise earlier more grovelling apologies, so that's exactly what I'm going to do, because there's just nothing else I can say. Is Storm Pierrick, I'm sure you might have noticed, he was, of course, named by the French Met Service, has brought some rather eventful weather to parts of Wales today. North Wales has really borne the brunt of it. And if you take a little look at further along the coast, well, further south, actually, not only have they had heavy rain, but this was the scene going into Clogwyn Station on Rhyddfa, Snowdonia. They've had snow up there today. Spring, where on earth are you? No sign of it coming anytime soon, I'm sorry to say. Here we go in a little more detail. I think when the best thing you can say about the forecast is that we are weather warning free at the moment, you know you're in for a run of it. But again, sorry.
I'm trying really hard to carry on listening to the forecast and remain optimistic.
I've had enough of it myself, you know.
Thanks, Ruth.
Well, at long last, something a little calmer and quieter as we head through this evening and into the overnight stretch. The winds that have battered parts of Wales today will continue to drop out. And under clear skies tonight, the temperatures will take something of a tumble. A bit of a shock to the system, actually, a colder night than we've seen for quite some time. And I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a touch of grass frost in more sheltered spots that little bit further inland. Elsewhere, I think it'll be frost-free, and that's thanks in part to that breeze. A little bit of misty and murky by the early hours of tomorrow morning, particularly over the hills and through the valleys as well. So for some, it's going to be quite a grey start to the day, but there will be some sunshine. But you're going to have to be quick to catch it yet again, because it will go downhill quite quickly. The cloud will build and we'll see more rain starting to work its way in. Heavier downpours, particularly over the hills and mountains. Elsewhere, just dull, damp and drizzly conditions. So perhaps not quite as bad as it looks, but it's not going to feel particularly pleasant. And yet again, the winds will be quite brisk, blustery in fact. But it is a more southerly airflow, so that actually brings in milder air. So despite all the greys and the glooms, the temperatures may well be slightly up on today's values. So we could well hit the dizzy heights of 13 or 14 degrees. It's still disappointing for the time of year, though, I know. As we head through then into the outlook period, by the time we get to Thursday, frankly, more of the same. There will be some sunny spells, and actually I think it's the temperatures that you're going to notice continuing to rise with that plume of mild air starting to feed in. So despite the fact there'll be a lack of sunshine, the temperatures will feel almost warm. And then by the time we get to the end of the week, we'll also see a ridge of high pressure building. That brings something a little bit calmer and quieter, and we could well see some decent spells of warm sunshine.